Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Dahm. That's true. I'm your host with the most, Truman, the Steam Machine Steen, joined by the beast with the least, Owen Dominations 7 Dahm. Oh, he's got the Dahm That's True hoodie on? Oh, the merch? Jeez. He's got the merch on?
Yeah, I wore it today at work, and my coworker was like, dude, that's sick. And I was like, yeah, it's my podcast. He was like, what? You have a podcast? I was like, yeah, this is the merch for it. And he's like, dude, that's pretty fucking sick.
I never talk about my podcast at work. I try not to, because I feel like it's a weird, because I come on here, I cuss, we discuss Elizabeth Olsen's breasts on Reddit.
That's a cool thing about my work team.
Yeah.
Is that so my first day, one of my first days of work, my old boss, who's no longer there, actually moved on. Mm-hmm. But I come in and they were troubleshooting something on one of the instruments we work with. Yeah. And I was like asking him what's wrong, and he's like, "Oh, this machine is just so fucking idiot." And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fit in here so well."
I fit in well with my work coworkers, and they wouldn't roast me for it. But I'm always worried because at work I'm not really that buttoned up even. I say plenty of stuff at work, but I still feel like you need to not be talking about Elizabeth Olsen's breast on the internet.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, but the thing is, most of my coworkers are my age.
Yeah. Well, and I've got some coworkers that follow me and whatnot, but I just don't totally advertise it.
Yeah, I mean, I just wear this hoodie because a good friend of mine got it for me, and it's really comfy.
It is also when I started doing the podcast, I was at a really more toxic workplace where I was worried that if I started to hurt, they would be like
space above our heads.
Yeah. Moving us down. Where's the KFC Beyond Chicken? How bad was it? It was actually pretty good. We've actually moved on to sports.
It was actually fine.
We're on to the next podcast.
There was actually nothing wrong with it.
You tilted it.
Yes.
No, crooked.
Oh. Fuck.
Where
Really?
it needs to go back this way. A little more? All right. Welcome. Yes, that's fine. We're good. Well, welcome in, everybody. Back to Dahm That's True. We're doing it. We're bringing in Homerun Chase. He's down there in the corner. He's been muted and deafened while we did our stupid little intro on our stupid little thing. We're going to talk...
Stupid little Elizabeth Olsen's breast.
Stupid little Elizabeth Olsen's breast. We're going to talk Chiefs, Bills like everybody is hoping we would. But before that, we're going to be talking about the upcoming AFC Championship matchup. And for that upcoming AFC Championship matchup, we had to bring in, I don't know, one of the biggest Bengals fans I know, probably. I know more Bengals fans than I expected.
I have to.
You watch Hannah Learns to Read every now and again, don't you?
Every now and then.
Also a pretty big Bengals fan.
I've been very far from Twitch recently.
You have been far from Twitch. It's been a bit since you've streamed.
Yeah, it's not only streamed, just even watched.
Yeah.
So since I've watched.
You hit that adulthood.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once I got back to in person, working, it got a lot harder to stream. You lose a lot of time. I don't play video games. Well, and moving in with a girlfriend.
Just being a regular adult.
I still live with my family, so.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean that.
But just being a regular adult makes it hard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But welcome in, Chase.
Hello.
Twitch.tv/HomerunChase, Twitter.com/TTV HomerunChase, right?
Yeah.
Did I get that right? Man. I wish I could remember worthwhile stuff I remember Twitter. We were talking about at work. The Chiefs had just had their bye week, and I was trying to remember the last 6 games of the season. So I said, "Oh well, the Chiefs have played blah 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 these 10 teams." And then I said, "Okay, well, and the Chiefs, we're playing the AFC North this year, so we have to play this team, this team, this team, this team. So we haven't played the Steelers yet." And then we have to finish off the AFC West, which means we played Denver Broncos twice, Raiders twice, Chargers again. And then I was and then there's the game against whatever the other game was that we had to play still. Oh, the Bengals. It was the Bengals and the Steelers. I was we got to finish off the AFC North, and then we've got to play the rest of the AFC West schedule. So it's that. I know the Denver game's the last. So I was just I wish I had engineering knowledge like that. As I was sitting there in my workplace, and they're like, "Okay, cool. Did you do those? Did you do those static pressure calculations?" I said, "The what?" So I was too busy memorizing NFL divisions. And I don't know if we mentioned it, we are also joined by special guest, now Browns fan. Notice the Z.
We have to talk about that actually. It's
one of the things. Talk about the Browns? Interesting.
Not that kind of the Browns.
Okay, Chase. Do you think the Bengals? Let's start with prediction. I'm going to ask you predictions to start off with. Legitimately, do you think that the Bengals are going to win? Straight up. We'll talk about the spread. We'll talk about the -7 spread here in a bit. But
it unfortunately can be argued both ways, and I know that's the struggle. So many teams, I'm sure, will fall back on we beat you before this season.
Right.
And I
The
know
Bills
the
fell
Bills
back.
probably said that a fair amount before
Yeah.
that matchup.
Bills
Right.
fans for sure.
I have confidence that I can say they really can if Matthew is out.
I think-
Matthew's the biggest fear factor because that defense looked very, very out of sorts. And
It is certainly more out of sorts. He's certainly the quarterback of that. He's certainly making a lot of the calls.
And I could trust us having our star free safety here and at least one interception or just one stop, because as Bengals fans, we keep going back to the second half of the last game. Chiefs had 3 points,
Yeah.
3 possessions, 3 points.
Right.
If that's the case, I mean, what's stopping them from being able to do it again? Very different scenario though in Kansas City this time. Playoff football.
Sure.
They found a way to win. They've purged all their demons. First playoff win in a long time. First ever away playoff win.
Text.
Did you send the text? Did you send the first text?
Did you send a text?
Not. I sent a text. Yes. I mean, you can't just not. Two blood pressure building games. That's for certain.
Oh my lord, dude! I was literally, my mom was tracking her blood pressure on the I think it was either her Apple Watch or her Fitbit. She easily hit 125 just sitting down and watching the game, which is crazy.
For the Chiefs Bills game,
Yes.
or
yes, I mean, I can guarantee you, my mom watched all of the games, so I'm sure her blood pressure was high and all.
I watched all the games as well. I mean, it was a fantastic weekend to watch football.
Yeah, no, we were Trim and I were talking about this. Could it possibly be the greatest? That's actually what I have written down here.
I mean,
this the
ESPN
greatest
said
weekend
it,
for football?
Reddit said it.
This is the greatest weekend for sure. This is the
Of all
greatest
time?
week. This is the greatest weekend of playoff football of all time. Yeah, I don't think there's any.
It's got.
But do you think it's slightly hyped up by the fact that last week's playoff football sucked mega ass?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't give a shit about football. And even like I sent a snap to the group chat. I was like, "Damn, fucking playoffs are crazy." This
It was
year."
4 walk-off games.
Yes.
Well, this
Anything where you have every
Yeah,
game
that's
results in a walk off can't really. You don't even need to compare it to anything.
Right.
That's true.
Oh
That's
yeah.
true.
I don't think you can. I mean, every single game ended on the last. I mean,
And 3 of them were the first 3 were underdogs. I mean,
yeah.
they're all underdog stories.
Right. And you have probably the greatest playoff game ever played. I'm not afraid to say it.
I
I'm
can
not-
understand that.
There's a
It's
reason.
a shame it had to end with a TD immediately ends the game. I'm not going to get into the overtime rules.
We can.
It's just a shame that that's how it had to end.
We're gonna get into the overtime
We
rules
are gonna
on
get
Dahm.
into
That's
it.
true later. But here's the thing, man. It's similar to how we felt. You know,
I know.
me
Oh,
and you-
I saw the thing.
But
You
me
guys
and
wanted a change, and the Bills denied it.
Yes, but me and you, we even had an interaction after that Bengals game where I got upset about that final drive where there were,
That's
a
an
couple
understatement.
penalties on the end zone one. We had the illegal hands to the face, and we had this whole discussion. I was not the most gracious of losers. I didn't. You went for lighthearted ribbing, and I was not ready for it just because.
Oh no, you tried to lightheart rib Truman after a loss. You can't do that.
No, you
gotta know
can,
better.
you can do it about like any other loss.
No,
but,
you can't, bro.
But that loss did not feel good because I felt like it was the refs. But here's the thing: is that as Chiefs fans, we could say, well, if they wouldn't have called the penalty on the 4th down or on this and that and that. But at the same time, you allowed 3rd and 27. You did it.
Yep.
We did it. We had 3rd and 27. There's no
There's
no
a couple
way
others
that should have been it.
that I've even seen mentioned. Obviously, as a Bengals side, when we see someone targeting us, we try and pick and choose to say, "Hey, it's even."
Right.
How was Andy Reid allowed to challenge a play after the ball was snapped earlier in the game?
That's always a debatable thing too.
Exactly.
Like balls being snapped, teams will try to snap it no matter what. Who knows when that whistle was blown truly based on what you see on TV and whatnot, And it's kind of, at the end of the day, it's a race against a kind of not real clock to try to hike it before the challenge happens. And it's like timeouts and the timing, like where sometimes they call timeout and then they're like, put 6 seconds back on the board. And it's like, why? And it's like, oh, because they called the timeout then and I was, stumbling over something.
Your name is on this.
Unfortunately, it's just you gotta make sure you do so much better than the other team that it doesn't matter what the refs do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There were definitely quite a few fans that were a little disappointed that Titans interception held up, that it didn't touch the ground in their opinion, or he had possession while touching the ground.
Yeah.
But they still did enough. They made Tannehill think he was Hercules, and he's very far from.
Right. And I mean, and I think that's how we feel about the Bills game is that
Yeah.
you can complain about the overtime rules all you want. But what you can't complain about, or what you should be complaining really about your team doing, is allowing Patrick Mahomes to go 45 yards in 13 seconds.
I saw a lot of people talking on the Bengals side. That's why Zach Taylor went for it on 4th and goal at the 1. Because he wanted to end it. He didn't want a chance to let a field goal and then a field goal go the other way. And then
Yeah. No, and that's why everybody on the Chiefs side said, let them score. We should let them score.
Right.
And the thing was that once they were going for it on 4th and 1, then it was an absolute great decision to not let them score. And, again, we can talk about it. As Chiefs fans, we felt we had you stopped. We stopped you on 4th and 1. And then we had the offsetting penalties. And then we went again.
that was on 3rd, I thought.
Well, but we got to 4th down.
Yes.
I thought we did a 4th down. I thought it was a stop, and then there was offsetting penalties on that stop, and then we got 4th down again, and and then you guys threw an incompletion because the first 4th down it was like at the goal line, and it was like a stop right at it.
Yes.
And then the
it
Bengals
was Mixon was
lost
stopped at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, and it would have been a close spot even without, and then that was offsetting, and then we felt they missed the false start, which there was a pretty
Yes.
significant movement, but and then it came down to and then on that 4th down play, there was illegal hands to the face, which then gave you the automatic first down, which then you could kill the clock.
Which
But-
basically ended the game.
Right.
Yeah, but again, all kind of water on the bridge. Why were we talking about this?
Because we were talking about how Bills fans were complaining about overtime rules, but we and then we connected the Bills overtime rules to only 45 yards and connected
Because you were talking about how they didn't want to kick the field goal. Yes, were they?
I did just see this on the NFL subreddit, so the whole NFL.
Yeah.
Playoff teams have a 90% win rate in overtime if they win the coin toss, and 70% of those wins coming from opening drive TDs.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
That's
there's
a tough stat to argue against.
Here, real
I
quick.
think,
Here,
but again, as Chiefs fans, I told Bills fans this walking out of the stadium when we were there. We understand. We were there. We did it. We had the MVP of the NFL on our team, and he didn't get to play after we fought back really hard and tied it. In the final seconds after they scored a touchdown, then we went again and kicked a field goal to tie it. We didn't get an opportunity in our home stadium, but there's no good way to answer it. I mean, because I think Good Morning Football, I was listening to it this morning. I think they did a really good nuance of it because they had Chris Carter on there, and Chris Carter's played in the league. He's an NFL Hall of Fame wide receiver.
right, very good.
And what Chris Carter pointed out is that the players do not want to play any longer than they have
Yes,
to. Is
exactly.
that you can say, like Kyle Brandt was like, I think they should play just another full quarter, like
quarter?
it's soccer where they play the extra
extra
when it's
time.
not golden goal,
Right.
Where they just play the extra 30 minutes and then it's whatever happens in that 30 minutes is what happens. But at the end of the day, man, that's there's no given. Do you think if you added 15 minutes to this Bills Chiefs game, that for some reason they wouldn't still be tied after another 15 seconds? We wouldn't have another one of these 2-minute flourishes at the end again?
And exactly, if you look at the other sports, you got hockey, that's golden goal.
Yep.
You got MLS. Well, they're basically able to stand still for a fair amount of it and just pass it a bunch in those extra 30. So it's
Yeah.
not a full
I actually have
full speed charge at each other football game. I mean, you have legit chance to be easily injured.
Right.
I have an interesting take on this. As someone who's played competitive, just other things, it is very interesting that the NFL is best of one. Granted, I don't think you could play multiple games, and so because of that, I don't think there's a satisfying way to do overtime. The reason people don't care about golden goal in hockey or other sports is because there's more than one game to play. So just because you get fucked that one time in overtime doesn't determine the whole series usually. Whereas with football, that's all you have. So the overtime rules matter a lot more than it would in other games.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. And but here's something that and I think that is I've talked about that before. And the same thing always happens from former players. And like Chris Carter would tell you, if you said, hey, maybe they should do best of 3, every single NFL person would be like, hell fucking no,
Correct.
because just because of the
It doesn't work.
It's because of the impact on the body.
Right.
But here's something that they were. I was on the way here. I was listening to 610, and they had Sean Barber on.
Yeah.
Sean Barber, former NFL linebacker.
Yeah.
And so they were talking about he went a completely even more radical thing. It's like with ties. He said that if in the regular season you can tie, but in the postseason you can't tie. And his idea was that you give it ends a regulation, and then if it ends in a tie, the win goes to the higher seed.
That sounds cringe.
That's crazy.
But here's the thing about that is that what the point I think also of it is that a lot of people complain about it coming down to a coin toss, because and the idea behind that is that if they know who wins in the case of a tie, or we know who gets the ball first in overtime, everybody's strategy would change. If we said, hey, the Chiefs are getting the ball first in overtime, the Bills play it different. If we
Like
say,
how college
there's
is,
no
where the
chance you
away
get this
chooses.
ball. What?
Like in college, where the away team chooses, do they want to go first or second?
Right. Or anything like, if we said, hey, if it goes like this, this is what's going to happen. Then it doesn't come down to a coin toss. It's chosen logically. And you say, okay, we do not want to go to overtime because they get the ball first. And I know we are gassed, And I think that would help too. Also, I think, and this, won't be talked about enough, and it'll be interesting to see the effects of this next year, because whoever wins the Super Bowl this year is going to be the first team to ever have to play 21 games in a season. Because every team that's surviving at this point did not have the bye.
Buys.
All bye
Yes.
weeks are gone. So you play 17 games. Everybody's playing their 20th game right now, which was less than the Patriots would have played the year where they were perfect and almost won the Super Bowl. That's less than the Chiefs played when they won the Super Bowl, and they had a rest week also. They had a rest week at the end of the season.
What of the four teams rested their people in the final week? Bengals did.
Well, you rested Burrow. I didn't think you rested the whole team.
Chase came in for his 12 yards to beat the rookie record for, the rookie record, Chad Johnson's record, and then sat out the rest of the game. We had most of our starters sitting.
Chiefs didn't.
In weeks, because you guys were still playing for the 1 seed.
Niners had to play.
You played on Saturday.
Yeah, Niners had to play.
Niners had to play.
That's right. They had to play to get in. And the Rams
had to play.
Played the 49ers, right? So the
the
Rams, I think, played their people.
Yeah, they absolutely did.
So I guess the Bengals were the only
Interesting
ones that
thought.
sat their week 17 people or week 18 people.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes. I mean,
I was just wondering. I mean, that's the only one who hasn't played straight.
I think it's very interesting. I hate how they do it. We talked about this, I think, last week, and we texted about this even. We messaged about how it's dumb that the two teams that are going to play each other play on different days of the week.
Yeah, it's weird. You get an
Like the
extra.
Bengals played on Saturday.
I did not
and
like
get an
that
extra
from the
day of rest
beginning.
now.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I did not think that was. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to rip something too heavily. I was disappointed to begin with, but I'm not going to rip something that would benefit the Bengals, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was not. It didn't seem fair to me that be the case. That the 2 1 seeds from the opposite conferences played on Saturday, and the other 2 played on Sunday.
So here,
Bengals had a whole day of their day of rest was yesterday, and they are already knowing who they are when they wake up on Monday, who they're playing, and then they can already start.
Then
playing.
again, though, the Bengals do get to travel to Kansas City, so it's kind of negated by day of travel fatigue.
Yeah, that is true. They do.
But both 1 seeds were playing on Saturday, so if the 1 seeds do win, they host and they have the extra day.
That's true.
So it was just the result just happened to cause it to be it could be evened out.
Fair enough. All right, Chase, real quick, we're going to look at the box scores of both games. Real
quick, just before we move on, I gotta say this. I actually, now that I've had like a good 5 minutes to dwell on it, the Sean Barber overtime rule of the higher seed getting the win in a tie is genius.
No.
Because that means no one kicks the field goal after the game tying touchdown at the end of the game. You go for 2 or you lose.
Yes and no, because
But
here's
then
the
I love
higher
it.
seed
I
plays
love
to
it.
tie instead of playing to win, always.
But the thing is though that as long as you're playing for the same rules the entire season, it doesn't matter.
it is an interesting. Here's where it would have changed. Here's where if it was higher seed wins, you know what would have been different. You know what would have changed.
Bills would have gone for 2. Chiefs would have had to score
The
a touchdown.
Bills would have gone for 2.
Yeah.
Which means that the Chiefs would have had to score a touchdown, or we'd kick a field goal and win anyways. So it would have made the game
Yeah, I'm
shorter
telling you,
because we would have skipped all of them.
It's not a terrible idea. It's not. I'm just saying, it would make things more exciting because then teams would play it different. But the main thing is, and this is what Sean Barber said on the way here, is that as long as you play for the same rule set the whole season, overtime rules kind of don't matter.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so Chase, real quick. What were you got something to add?
No, you're good. It's hard to, like Vincent was saying earlier, it's just hard to compare to other sports when you want to so badly to be like, hey, hockey, it's 3-on-3 in the regular season, but it's a full 5-on-5 extra 20-minute periods until you score in the playoffs. Like, it's hard to compare that if it's the same rules the whole time.
Right. I mean, I think with this kind of thing, if NFL rules don't change, we'll just see more teams going for 2 in situations like that.
I thought they would anyway. I thought Tomlin would have been one of the people that I guess he tried. Or no, Harbaugh tried. It didn't work out for him, so.
Yeah. Right. So, Chase, real quick, we're going to take a look at both box scores over the weekend real quick. I think Owen wants to roast you for the Bengals box score. I think there's some things that we'd like to hear because we did, for anybody who tuned in last week, I guess I almost owe sort of an apology. We did a very serious Dahm That's True where we discussed a lot of the mental gymnastics of sports fans that we go through and defending all of our domestic abusers that are on our team, essentially.
We purged ours with the Marvin Lewis era.
Well, Joe Mixon is your running back.
So yes, that's what I was saying. Except for the running back.
Let's calm down. But
I know.
Yeah, and we just signed. What is the fucking
Damon Arnett.
At least we don't have a shitty TikToker of a brother.
I think we're going to talk about that later on that.
People have a weird obsession with Mahomes' family, man. It's weird.
I mean, you know what it is, but
it's because it's so easy.
Well,
it's so bad.
It started with Barstool, and there's kind of always
weird.
a secret reason
weird.
behind Barstool. But
Barstool
okay,
is really weird.
So Owen, what did you want to? So let's start. All right,
I'm here for all of it. I'm here for all of it.
All right, so 9 sacks. So your defense of 9
get
sacks
out of the way.
Is that there's no way the Chiefs will do that.
The Chiefs, I think, had 3
We
sacks.
had 4 sacks, I believe, last time we played them.
Okay, so I will start. I have 2 defenses for the 9.
Okay.
I will start with this. This is not a defense. This is just a comparison I've seen people say.
Sure.
Where it's like, you're going to turn your quarterback into Andrew Luck. He's going to be out within 5 years when he's a superstar.
Okay.
Luck took these hits that were like, he got clobbered because he always fought for the extra yard.
That's true.
Burrow, in a lot of his sacks, he knows he can immediately just throw a 15-yard pass right after he takes a 5-yard loss. So he just kind of falls over a fair amount of the time.
Honestly, I've actually been thinking about that, Truman. It's not that's not a terrible take. Joe Burrow is actually good at taking sacks.
You can say that, but Joe Burrow already tore his ACL in the NFL.
That's true.
That was, I mean, if you watch that game and watch the injury, it's just Washington's freaking grass. His cleat caught in their grass.
I know.
And just bent funny.
ACLs are freak injuries, but that's already a bad knee, which is a bad start.
Yes, understandable. But I will say, so the 2 defenses I have for the 9, half of the routes, Joe Burrow didn't have a check down. So he had to hold it for 3 seconds. There were quite a few 3-second sacks out of the 9.
Okay.
And the other thing is yes, our right tackle and right guard are weak, but you got to give credit to that Titans defensive line. They only blitz 4. That's our true weakness. If you send 4 and put 7 in coverage and exchange all you want, it throws Burrow off. When you send an extra guy, send 6, and you put Chase on one-on-one, you put Boyd one-on-one, Uzama, mixing out of the backfield. That's where Burrow has statistics that are really good in the league.
Yeah, so that's actually what the coaching staff here on Dahm That's True were screaming at our televisions during the Bengals game.
Yes, I mean,
Joe Burrow is incredible against the blitz, and we just kept fucking doing it. It made no sense.
well,
I did look up the numbers when I was seeing who we would play between Titans, Bills, and Chiefs after they beat the Raiders. Titans had the lowest of the 3 in blitz rate. I think the Bills had the second lowest, and the Chiefs had the highest out of the 3 teams in blitz.
Spags loves his blitzes.
He loves unique blitzes I've seen, but
I would say there was some, and honestly, in that first game, there will also be. I mean, we already discussed the refs, but Steamroller does have a good point in the chat. Is that a lot of this will come down to the reffing crew. One of the things about the guy who was reffing last night, the Hussey crew, I saw they don't call offensive holding very often. They didn't call many defensive pass interferences. They had some of the lowest penalty calls, but they did like to call taunting, which was odd that they did not call the Tyreek Hill taunting.
yes,
I think
I did see that. In my opinion, if I had to guess, I haven't seen if they're announced yet. I think the 2 Saturday 1 seed games, those crews move on. If I had to take a guess, that day seemed full invisibility. You have the Rams crew that calls. It's like he calls unsportsmanlike conduct on Brady, and then you have the taunting that's going to be talked about from the Chiefs game, where it just feels like those were the 2 moments. I was like, you're not moving on. Sorry.
I mean, that taunting doesn't change anything. I mean, maybe you push
not
back.
calling it. I mean, it's just one of those things like if that's what you're going to say, and when you've been calling it all season, that's just my thought.
I mean, but the difference in that is, again, the Bills already scored on that drive anyways. If anything, it almost helped the Bills because it made them take up more time by not being 15 yards closer. Is maybe they got to burn 30 more seconds so that Patrick Mahomes didn't score a touchdown and end it there.
Understandable. Hindsight's 2020. That's just my opinion from watching all 4 games. I noticed the refs in the Rams game definitely. Questionable on the lack of calls on the Chiefs game was the only thing.
Also, somebody in the chat also roasted Burrow's mobility, saying Burrow has the mobility of a drunk fat guy loaded on Skyline.
That is one of my knocks that I've seen watching him. He seems like he tries to be a little more elusive than he really is, but it does assist with him always running a bit backwards.
Yeah.
That he's not getting clobbered by a D tackle when he's standing straight up.
Yeah.
He's like kind of already falling as he's getting sacked.
Yeah. Hockey Lee was the guy reffing the Tampa Bay game, and he's always been, or he's like his father, kind of both make it about themselves a bit too much at times. Titans also have one of the worst defensive backfields in the NFL, and that's fair.
That was supposed to be one of the things, but I mean, with 9 sacks, that's 9 dropbacks that he didn't even have a chance to throw deep.
Yeah.
I heard he had a lot of deep routes planned, and he just checked out of them. He didn't like them most of the time.
Interesting. And Spags also didn't blitz much last night.
So hopefully he doesn't fucking blitz.
There was a couple coverage sacks. They had a coverage sack or two against. I think both of them were coverage sacks against Josh Allen.
Well,
I
a
am
couple of
curious,
them
what
should
was
have
the
been
defensive game plan over Diggs? Because I know he was basically quiet. Was it
Uh,
doubled?
Charvarius Ward locking him the fuck down. Well, Charvarius Ward had
Was
one
that
of his
was-
best games. Honestly, Charvarius Ward got such a short end of the stick against that Bengals game. He was so close on so many balls. Like I remember one of those that Chase caught. It hit his hand, but he just happened to be right there anyways and got it. And like I think Charvarius Ward is almost one of the unluckiest guys. He's the best position, like one of the best position cornerbacks in the NFL. He just cannot put a hand on the ball ever for whatever reason. He's always right there, and he always misses it by about 2 inches and misses the ball.
Yeah, he's one of those players where someone catches it against him, and you go, "Damn, that was good defense."
Yeah, you're like, damn, that's just a good throw. Like he had
all the time.
That's just, like,
he had
damn, that's a good
that
catch.
comeback route. I think they threw it down there where they called defensive pass interference on him, and the Bills guy caught it anyways. It was just like, Jesus Christ.
Yes, I remember that play.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Joe Mixon didn't look like he was that effective. 14 rushes for 54 yards isn't incredible, but it's not awful.
He had a couple breakout runs, and that was basically it. I mean, the story was never going to be how is Mixon going to do running. It was always going to be how is Henry going to do running.
I'll tell you what,
And
Joe
it
Burrow
wasn't
has a
very
QBR of 28.2 again. He's not moving on.
What? Sorry?
Joe Burrow had a QBR of 28.2. If he has
What would
that
you say
again, he's
after
not
that?
moving on in the playoffs against the Chiefs.
He is moving on, you mean?
I mean,
sorry. Okay,
If he has
I
that
see what you're
against-
saying
Sorry. If he has that against the Chiefs, he
Well,
will not be moving on.
you can see 28 for 37, 348. Obviously, the one interception does hinder. That was a fantastic interception by their safety.
Yeah.
How much does sacks affect your QBR? I would have to assume that's a big portion for it to only be at 28.
Can't help it. Well, I mean, it's also
It does
I don't
seem
know.
confusing. It does
It's
seem confusing.
QBR is a very weird stat in general, honestly. But
I think, yeah, I
just
know.
a QBR of 28.2 does feel. But I mean, to be fair, Ryan Tannehill had a QBR of 10.4, so both just
3 interceptions
terrible.
will do that to you.
Terrible.
And he had 2 TDs to go with it, right?
Yeah.
The beautiful ball to AJ Brown, which I think, not AJ Brown. Yes, AJ.
Yes, AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Okay. I kept thinking of AJ or Dylan, and I was like, why would? I think that was more of a beautiful catch than it was a beautiful ball, in my opinion. I don't grade quarterback throws that high when you throw them
That's
like
how
a
I
deep ball
kind
like
of
that.
felt about all of Joe Burrow's passes in the first Kansas City game. Legitimately. I felt that he didn't throw the ball well at all, and their guys just barely got it every time, and I'm just like, oh. I want to lose my.
Oh, so you're
fucking
grinding
mind.
at the bit the whole time, and then the ref just added to it. You're saying.
Yeah, I really was because like I said, I felt my guys were in great. I felt the guys were in great position every time, and then just lightly blew it. So what? No,
No, I'm just
no.
like, damn, that's shame. Crazy.
Yeah.
So during the
Not having anything
during the
to push.
Bengals Titans game, there were
Owen wanted to point out the
there
drive
were
chart.
there were 11 drives of 5 plays or less,
Oh my god.
which is
Between
not-
the two teams? Sorry, I
Yeah.
missed a bit.
yes across 2 teams. I think so. Here, I'll count it up. The Bengals had 1, 2,
I've got it here. Hold on. I can bring it up here.
4. The Bengals had 5 plays of 5 drives of 5 plays or less, and the Titans had 6 drives of 5
The
plays
Titans'
or less.
first play of the game was an interception. Jesus Christ.
Yes. Tannehill's first pass attempt of the second half, and the last pass attempt he did were all interceptions.
Yes, not great. He finally regressed to Miami Dolphins Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
In a home crowd too. Damn.
Because Henry didn't, and I would, if I was a Tennessee fan, I would be screaming at why earlier on they didn't be like, oh, why not use Foreman? You see, Henry doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's the
He's
same.
got metal in his foot.
It's the same shit that always happens. It gets hyped up. This guy's back. He's gonna be back, and then he comes back and he doesn't do jack shit. It's the same thing. If Eric Berry would have came back in those 2018 playoffs,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have done anything because he would have been hurt and he would have forced himself back, and then he would have been totally ineffective. And everybody went, "God damn it! Why did we play Berry?" And that's, I think, how everybody should have felt about Derrick Henry. You rushed him 20 times, and we talked about this last week. Is that Derrick Henry in the playoffs really isn't that good, anyways, and it's very odd.
It doesn't make sense.
Because the narrative is when it gets cold, when it gets late in the season, running backs punish you. But Derrick Henry doesn't. The most punishing running back of all time. Doesn't
We also
do
went
shit.
to Tennessee. It wasn't exactly the coldest of places. Hell, it's going to be high of 45 in Kansas City on Saturday.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's pretty nice.
beautiful.
Well, Sunday, right?
Sunday, I meant to say, yeah.
That's beautiful, beautiful weather.
All right. Well, do you want to get into? I mean, I don't know if there's anything that we, again, supporting that same narrative that I think we kind of felt looking at the QBR from that first game. Patrick Mahomes, when the Bengals and Chiefs first played Week 17 matchup.
That's weird. I don't understand.
Patrick
See,
Mahomes,
look at the
QBR.
QBRs in that matchup. You see 30 for 39, 446, 4 TDs, no interceptions. Does the 4 sacks mean a huge chunk to QBR?
It must.
It must.
That doesn't make
It
any
has
sense.
to be
But
substantial.
I didn't feel
in some
like
way.
Joe Burrow outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game. I kind of do feel the same as this.
Jamar
QBR.
Chase had more receiving yards than Mahomes had passing yards.
I know.
Yes, but 2 of those were on 15-yard slants that the defense should have stopped immediately. That went. For 80.
I understand. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know how that QBR can be so low compared to Mahomes's. That is all. And I do see your dad over there talking
Doing the
about
roast.
the Raiders moving to the ball in the second half. They got us on our heels,
Yeah.
definitely in the second half of that game.
Oh yeah.
That you had to assume something with Basuccia or whatever, however you pronounce his last name. That team was fighting for him. I
Yeah.
knew at some point there would be a scare factor that they would turn into actually being what they could be.
Yeah.
If Carr was competent for a whole 60 minutes in the playoffs.
Right.
And straight up, it didn't help that that was right after Hendrickson had his concussion, or he didn't have a concussion. He was concerned about getting a concussion.
Yeah.
Didn't end up having one. I assume that's why he got out in 3 days.
Right.
But
Well,
obviously that they got us on our heels, and we just had to keep backing up and just kind of do as much as we could to not lose.
That's my biggest hope for Tyrann Matthew coming back next week is that
It didn't look like it.
he went out, he took a knee to the head, and it was like
I mean,
saw him
that's
grab
a
his head.
scary area. I mean,
Yeah.
his head bent forward.
Right, and I saw him grab his head right after that, but he played the next play. He went back out there. He didn't, and then he came off and then didn't go back in. But that's my only hope is that although maybe that's worse, is where you try to go through and then you go, oh, I am concussed.
Yeah,
you come off
and
the
you're
side.
like, oh shit, I can't actually do this.
But I don't, we've seen Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes had whatever the hell happened last year versus the Browns and then came back the next week. So who knows? I would just,
We'll see. I'm excited for this game. I think it should be fun. I think that the internet's super hyping it up, and I'm adding a lot of tweets to my bookmarks.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know
nothing-
how you can say that as a Chiefs fan. Freaking every talking head's talking about Mahomes has already won this game. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
I don't know how you have people
everybody
that are
did
saying-
talk that the Buffalo Kansas City game was essentially the AFC Championship game, and some people,
Yeah,
especially
we've heard
after
that a lot.
especially after the Packers and Rams or Packers and
Niners.
Bucks were knocked out.
Oh, Packers and Bucks knocked out. Yeah.
They were like, this could have been the Super Bowl at this point, and and whoever won this game was going to be Super Bowl favorites. The Chiefs are now Super Bowl favorites.
Yes.
I mean,
you still
Yes,
got to
because
play
they
the
look at-
opponent
they-
in front
they-
of you.
They look at the Bengals as being the worst of the 4 teams remaining. Which
I
has
don't think
been-
that's true. The Niners are the worst of the 4 teams remaining.
Yeah, that's true. The Niners are certainly the worst.
Why don't you take the team that didn't win the division? Let's start there. That's the worst team remaining.
Man, I'm just telling you.
Who do
this
you
is
think
basically
is
a
the
home.
worst
This is
team
basically
remaining?
a home game for the Niners coming up.
Who do you
Yeah,
think?
well, that's true.
Who do you think is the worst team remaining?
QBR does not
do I-
account for sacks.
Who do I think?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to the Bengals to keep putting it on their poster board. You have to think there's something about it when the Bengals have played in the earliest time slot every playoff game.
Yeah, for the record.
So at the very least, the media thinks we're the worst team,
well,
or least entertaining.
but we've talked about it before. It's also all weird TV contract stuff.
That's true.
Is that
I get it. No, I
mean,
get it.
What is it? 2 years ago. The last 2 years, the AFC's been on the later one. Or no, were we on the earlier one? Against the Titans.
You guys had them Sunday night.
No, we
Both times
had
now.
we had the night game against the Titans, and we also had the night game against the Bills. We had the
You
definitely
didn't play
had
the
night
Titans.
game
You played the
versus the
Steelers. You had Sunday night both times.
No. We're talking about
We had-
we're talking about the last 2 AFC Championship games.
Oh, gotcha.
It's been night game. This is weird.
No, wait, no. Titans might have been afternoon slot. Titans might have been 3:25.
I think Titans because I swore.
No, Titans was like 6 or 7, because we had a nighttime
6 or
party
7
No,
is
no,
the
it
night
wasn't.
game.
No,
for
it
the
wasn't.
for the conference
for
champs.
the AFC Championship.
Yeah, the Titans game. Remember, because if you think about the Patrick Mahomes run,
Okay.
that was in daylight.
That's true. It was in daylight,
In the second quarter.
So it had to have been early
Yeah.
because sun would have been down by 5 p.m.
So I think it goes every other, Chase. I think every other. I think they alternate. I think you just happen.
You do?
I think the other games, other weekends. I think you certainly have a. But I don't know. But it all came down to who won last weekend. What
the
time you would have been
seedings were
playing.
already to be discerned. Like you couldn't look ahead and say, "Oh, this is the only first weekend where you can look at the games and be like, oh, CBS has the first one,
Well,
Fox
my-
has the second one."
My guess
to
might be
begin
that
with.
AFC. It might have been AFC 1 seed is
CBS.
plays this slot. This place. We would have had the late slot if Tampa Bay would have won. It's all about time zone. Oh, well that makes sense because the Rams are playing on the West Coast,
So they have to have the night.
so they have to have the night game because the Chiefs can play at 2:00. But if you played at 2:00 on the West Coast, it'd be a noon game. So they do not alternate. So it all just comes down to time zone for championship games.
That makes sense.
Not as much for the wild card rounds, I'd say, but the Bengals are always on the East Coast, and the West
Yes.
Coast teams are always going to get
There's
that
a
late
lot
slot.
of teams on the East Coast.
Yeah, especially remaining in the playoffs. But so I guess that makes sense. But
But you guys had Sunday night hosting the Steelers. Like, you're central.
yeah, but who else played that day? It was so
Bucks Eagles was that day, right?
Bucks Eagles that day, which is Eastern time,
They were the first one.
Yep.
and then
The 4 o'clock was Cowboys 49ers.
Cowboys 49ers, which is in Central time also. So those both games were in Central time.
And then Rams is the late game. I mean,
And I'd have to guess that
Cards was
that
late
the
game.
Fox
Rams
has to have a Sunday game, and that the Sunday game is always the NFC. NFC is Fox, AFC is CBS.
Yeah, I don't know.
So-
I don't know. I don't know anything about TV cards. I don't know anything about this.
All you need to know
It
is
just seemed like a slap in the face every time.
I wouldn't take it personally.
It's all
I think it's a slap in the face because you're on the Eastern time zone.
I don't see it as a slap in the face. I just hope the team sees it as a slap in the face.
That's fair.
It's not
Because
college.
Joe Burrow seems to be a little heated when he gets slapped in the face by whatever.
It's not college where the time zoning does matter. It's the NFL where everything's TV contracts.
If I was Joe Burrow, though, I'd take it as a slap in the face. I'd put it on the bulletin board
Oh,
for sure.
definitely.
All right. That being said, Chase, the Chiefs are 7-point favorites
Yes.
coming up. Where do your bets lie?
If we
I
were give you,
am-
if we were giving
I
you,
am basically right behind the solid statement that is, I would avoid this game in betting terms.
Yeah,
If I
that's a
could.
tough line. 7 is a
Seven
tough.
is
Let me
tough.
see.
I
on, let's
have
see.
seen Caesars has 7. I have seen somewhere else have 7.5.
I go to
7.5 seems like a smash the Bengals,
So
in my opinion.
let me see. I like to use scores and odds. They kind of do a pretty good all around. They've got 7.
Oh, just 7.
I can look up.
7's just a
Sometimes
rough
they've
number.
got the.
Now, I will say
different
this.
lines based on who it is.
Here's the thing
Okay.
I've seen. I think I just saw this today.
With 7.5 is at MGM. Everybody else is 7.
7.5 is bold. Unless
Everybody
they got
else
immediate
is
money
7.
on Kansas City.
Most of the money's on the Bengals.
I heard the
Interesting.
immediate money would be a lot on the Bengals, and then a lot of the public money towards the end. Yeah, I think. I mean, if Matthew doesn't play, I'm smashing. You take the over.
I think you take
Easy.
the over no matter what.
I think you take the Yogi no matter what.
I think Matthew will do 1 or 2 ball hawk plays that will at least disrupt the TD.
I mean, over is 54.5. So if you think
27s?
one of these teams is going to score
27?
30 and it's going to be
27
moderately
apiece?
close, I think you take the over. I think the Chiefs have scored 42 in their first 2 playoff games. And they've allowed their teams to score, well, honestly, allowing Pittsburgh to score, 17, I think should be worrisome, or maybe even more. No, it was 21, wasn't it?
This is garbage time.
Your wild card game and our wild card game were the only 2 wild card games to have a lead change.
That's funny.
That is hilarious.
It was a terrible wild card weekend. For
Because
how
we
good the last
allowed an
weekend was?
opening field goal to the Raiders, and you guys had the scoop and score.
Yeah. And then it was all Chiefs, baby.
that was pretty funny, honestly, because we were like, oh shit, and then Patrick Mahomes was like, no.
Yeah, I was like, well, because we were like, man, they're looking tight. And then that team scored. You're like, God damn it, dude. Are we really going to do this? And then they immediately scored, stopped them, immediately scored, stopped them, immediately scored. And you went, oh,
I mean,
okay.
didn't the Bills Chiefs game, if I recall watching, wasn't it only like 2 drives in the first quarter and it was a TD scored?
Yes.
So like,
yes,
if
they were
either
both-
doesn't
They were
score
both
at the end
like
of that,
seven.
kicks
They were
a
both
field goal.
7 minutes plus.
Yeah, you're already starting to look at it. But I will say, the big playability of both teams does make the over very appealing.
Right.
But
Yes.
I do not like the spread where it's at right now to even think about betting
I
on
would
this
not
game.
sports bet on this game either.
I
Oh,
think
Cat.
I
No
think the
Cat.
3.5. That's the 49ers Rams. I think you love that 49ers plus 3.5 right now.
49ers
for
plus
the
3.5.
Yes,
I don't
the-
know. I think it would be so funny if the Niners won and Jimmy G goes to another Super Bowl. That shit would be
See,
hilarious to me.
here's the crazy thing that the Bengals subreddit has always been bringing up, and it's just kind of in the back burner right now because of, right now they're in a we gotta avenge our Bills bros, and the other half is we hated how the Chiefs went from happy-go-lucky memers to, we hate the Bengals now because of the loss.
Sure.
You like I said to you, Truman, you had quite a few Mahomes fanboys that wanted to try and talk shit after that game. Like Mahomes would win 99 games out of 100. You just got the one.
I mean,
Saw that.
I think that's how it felt. I'm not, we've talked about this.
Yes.
We've talked about this extensively on the podcast before. The Chiefs are bad guys now. You go to 2 straight Super Bowls. You've won one of them. Everybody hates the Mahomes family. Everybody and Chiefs
in a
fans,
weird way too. We'll talk about that later.
Patrick is nice. Patrick's a great guy. He just gets talked up by the media 24/7.
Right. Well, yeah, which he should.
I understand.
I mean, that's
I-
it sucks because I think at times we go, you know what, I kind of understand where where Pats fans were at, where you're like, the media always talks about Brady, and they're like, well, they should, and now we're like, media always talks about Patrick Mahomes, and it's like, well, they should. And it's like they talk about Patrick Mahomes like he's the end all be all, like nobody could ever beat him. And it's like,
I know. I
There's
definitely I
moments,
understand
you know?
it. I saw someone say, Mahomes Allen is gonna be the next Brady Manning, and Herbert Burrow is gonna unfortunately have to turn into the Rivers Roethlisberger rivalry.
you guys are gonna be the Rivers Breeze. No, yeah, I
Basically,
guess
like-
Rivers Roethlisberger. Yeah, it does seem about fair. You guys are always gonna be. You're gonna play that
Second
matchup to see
fiddle
who
to the
plays
other
the winner of the other
rivalry.
matchup. You're gonna one of you guys could end up like the what is it? The Philip Rivers was 0-4 or 0-3 against Tom Brady in his career.
Is that true?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Or in
Well,
the
that
playoffs,
can't be a
in the
thing for
playoffs.
Burrow because he's 1-0 at least.
Yeah.
So there's at least that. Maybe Burrow or Mahomes will turn into the 0-3. Can't beat Burrow.
Oh God, I hope not. I'd be insufferable.
Well, that's like Tom Brady always had to have somebody who was like his dude. Joe Burrow cannot be the Eli Manning to our Tom Brady. Please, no. Please, no, man.
Well, they're not in opposite conferences, so there's that.
Yeah, but like I think Chiefs fans like we all understand why everybody hates us. You know, again, somebody Steve Roll in the chat talking about all the Mahomes commercials that every commercial break. But I think us Chiefs fans have the same reaction when everybody talks about how much they hate the Chiefs, and that we understand why everybody hates the Chiefs, which is we do not care. we get it, and I feel it's warranted. But
Let me pull up my Mike Tomlin quote here real quick.
oh, Owen's got the video. Hold on.
We do not care.
Thank you. Yeah.
I would be totally okay with the State Farm commercials
Yes.
if they just picked a side. I
Oh.
hate how they bounce back and forth between, oh, I hate that you're giving my rate out versus, oh, I love that you're giving or I could get my rate. I hate that they just go back and forth 24/7 and they can't
Well, I
just
think
pick one.
I think it also contributes that the Mahomes sneaker one is a shit commercial.
I think it's a fine commercial.
I don't like that commercial.
Well, and I think now you've
Gets
got
the point. It
you know,
does the job.
Speaking of flip flopping, you've got one vaccinated, one unvaccinated. No, just kidding. Just joking.
I mean, I also don't like the AT&T commercials. Nothing against like the things. It's just they're on a lot, but I don't think they're horrible.
Yeah.
They're not funny.
I think there's one commercial group that I think a lot of us can all agree. I think there's one company who kills the commercial game, especially during football season.
The State Farm Baker Mayfield ones.
The Progressive. Progressive as a
Progressive.
company. Progressive has the Baker Mayfield ones.
At home with Baker Mayfield?
Which
Oh my
which
God.
are
You have
all
at home-
great.
Does it
You have
fantastic.
your parents becoming your parents.
And
That's Progressive,
becoming your
right?
parents, which is
That's
also
a fantastic one.
also
Dude,
a banger set
they
of
really are
commercials.
killing the commercial
Yeah,
game.
I think absolutely Progressive has the best commercials.
Dude, Baker Mayfield, my mom legitimately hated Baker Mayfield, but after all the commercials, my mom's like, I kind of like Baker now.
Yeah, I think that's how everybody kind of felt. We're like, you're a great actor, Baker. Please stop
Go
playing
back to
quarterback."
acting, Baker.
Please stop.
Okay, Chase, real quick, you have to make the
Yes.
you have to bet the rent money. Gun to your head, you've got to play. You got to make a play on the spread of this game. It is
Spread
at
alone,
minus,
not any bet.
It
Not
is at
any bet.
-7. Nope, you got to do it. You got to lay 1. You take the Bengals +7. Take the Chiefs -7.
I forget what I saw specifically, but I did see it today. The Bengals, at least maybe Joe Burrow, I think the Bengals are 6-1 this year as underdogs, like with a spread that was an underdog.
Like against the spread or
yeah, against the
straight,
spread.
not
like
straight
they're
up.
6-1 against the spread. I think
I'd probably tell you honestly.
I think you gotta trust. I gotta trust in the Bengals being just able. They've persevered so much. I think it's in the stars that the Niners and Bengals play each other in the Super Bowl. As unlikely as it seems, as it's been this whole time, I think it's just in the stars at this point. I don't know what the hell's happening right now. I think I would have to take the Bengals as +7.
Bengals in their last 5 games as underdogs are 3-2 against the spread.
And maybe it was something with Joe Burrow or something. I
6
remember
and
seeing
4 in their
something
last
about
10.
really high against the spread.
Yeah.
Wait, is that as underdogs? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's as underdogs.
I remember seeing something. I think I
No, you might be right.
I like I do like the +7, and maybe it's because I've never ever watched the Chiefs play a playoff game in Kansas City or an AFC champ game in Kansas City.
You're about to learn. It's pretty fun.
I mean, it seemed
They have
all right
most of
for
the
the
last
Bills
3 in a
one,
row,
but
as it turns
I
out.
do feel like I was hoping for the Bills, aside from because they would have been back-to-back huge emotional games that they would have just been drained. That was really the only thing. I feel like it was a 50-50 on who the hell the Bengals are going to beat between the two.
Yeah.
I like the +7 if Matthew's not playing. I'm scared about it if Matthew
All right.
is the final.
Well, and the best kept secret on the Chiefs is it really matters if Fenton plays or not.
Dude, he's good.
Fenton is way better than Mike Hughes, who everybody saw get fucking exposed on Sunday night.
Was he the double move who
Yes,
fell backwards?
the dude
on
who
his-
fell down.
That was
Yes.
Mike Hughes. He's really good at returning kicks, and that's it. Chase, if you have to give
I'll definitely be monitoring injury reports this week.
a number score prediction, Chase, give me the score of the game this weekend.
Boy, the number 41 shown up a lot with the Bengals this year. It's a very odd number. I like you up those scores with a touchdown. I like a 41-38 Cincinnati win.
41. Cincinnati win?
Yes, that's what I like.
But that wasn't the what you.
Yeah, I did. He said Cincinnati. He's taking.
You up at a touchdown each.
What,
Am I doing math wrong?
So you're saying you're taking Cincinnati plus 7,
Yes.
but you didn't.
I'm basing it off of the 2 injuries staying true.
Okay. So you're.
I don't know anything about the severity of those injuries. That is in my gut feeling. That number, we've had 3 or 4 scores finish with 41 points for us. And for some reason, it's a very odd number that keeps showing up.
34 is not that hard to get to.
41.
41's not that hard to get. What did I say? 31?
You said 34.
I would
Yeah.
say 41 is a
Sorry.
pretty hard number to get to.
No, 31's not that. 41's not that hard.
It's 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
5
That's
touchdowns,
7
2 field
points,
goals, or 6 touchdowns and a missed extra point.
like Butker.
All right.
All right.
It's not as sore as a subject.
Our prices have never been lower.
I think you're wrong, but
I hope.
I
you're
mean,
wrong.
understandable. I didn't come on here to make friends.
I think this
We're
is
already
gonna be-
friends, so it doesn't
Speaking
matter.
of, speaking of
Oh.
making friends, I've been waiting to try to find a good segue. Thank you, Chase. I have been bouncing around with like the whole like who I want to root for now.
Right,
This
because you
might
were a Raiders fan.
correct now on the Browns, but then I'm having a similar issue with the Browns in that I really don't like Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
Like, on God, I hate
So
Kareem
are you
Hunt.
going to choose the Bengals
You
now?
can't
and-
choose the Bengals. They have Joe Mixon.
Well, Joe Mixon's not as prolific as Kareem Hunt.
Well, but Joe
Joe
Mixon
Mixon
did worse stuff than Kareem.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't think Joe Mixon's a good guy.
Joe Mixon is the level of bad that Tyreek Hill is bad.
No, don't say things like that.
No, it is. They were both convicted of the same crime, essentially, which was
Are you
abusing
hold on,
a
hold on.
woman
Why
in
don't you let us
college.
speak? Is he going to change his allegiance to the Bengals?
No, he
I
would've
I
before.
came in wanting to change my because like I don't know what it is about fucking Ohio
can't
and
believe
their orange ass underdog teams. but
We
I'm
haven't won a Super Bowl.
I'm just
They
here.
haven't won a Super Bowl.
for,
End of story.
I am here for fucking underdog teams, and I don't know. There's something about the Bengals. I have liked them a lot this season.
You know what, Vincent? We'll let you change it to the Bengals.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. I have something better for you guys later. But yeah, so
Vincent,
I
are- Vincent,
would
are
like to
you
be
a
Bengals fan moving
curse?
forward, Chase? So for handshakes.
Vincent, are you a curse? Do I not want you here?
I'm
You
not
can
great.
curse
You guys already shook on it. No takes these back.
So-
Let's go, man! Let's go! That's a Chiefs dub this weekend. Absolutely.
When I switched from the Raiders to the Browns, the Raiders immediately went 4-0, and the Browns went 0-3, and then they finally won one in the fourth week, which isn't.
What
great
I
for
want to
you.
see, I need Tim the Tap Man to tweet out that. the Chiefs
Oh
will win,
yeah,
and then I
dude!
know
Oh
the
my
Bengals
God, he
will
tweeted out the Bills jersey, wearing the Bills jersey before the game.
win. He also said the Bucks will win. I think
Oh
he
my God.
incorrectly predicted all 4 games.
Yes, he went.
That man-
He went 0 for 4.
Tim the Tap Man
Yep.
stays taking.
Please,
L's.
please tell me he says that the Chiefs and the Rams.
There's no
will
way.
win.
You know, there's no way. He's gonna be salty, bro. There's no way. All right. Well,
I'm-
Chase, I hope you're wrong on your prediction, but thank you for
Understandable.
coming. Thank you for coming on. You provided great insight. We really appreciate you coming on here. Let's
I
definitely
already
make
told
this.
Truman, no matter what happens, I will be as civil as can be.
Yeah,
I just
it
ask
will-
he's
it-
the same.
We'll try to
No
be as civil as
excuses,
we-
no complaints.
Yes.
Just
I'm only mean
GGs and
to
move on.
fans on Twitter. I'm not mean to fans in real life. I'm fan to the dummies who have hot takes on Twitter.
Let's definitely make this.
I
a
got
more-
blocked by I think 4 Bills fans last year just tweeting us.
Oh,
storming.
dude, Truman was in that ass.
There's a whole emoji. I was drinking champagne and tweeting at Bills fans after the AFC Championship game.
I wanted to tweet at more Bills fans last night, but they were all being so nice, so I couldn't roast them. It was really sad.
They were so sad last night. They were so depressed. I think you can only be sad.
I
after
literally
loss like
got
that.
on Twitter to go type up a storm and rouse and feathers, and
Yes.
the Bills fans were like, "Man, we were so close. That stinks. These are 2 great quarterbacks." And I was
All right.
like, "Yeah, true."
All right. We need to relinquish Chase from our Midwest goodbye prison. Chase, we do appreciate you coming on.
Where can we
appreciate
find you?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, where
I was
can we
stated
find you?
earlier. Basically, Twitter is the only thing I'm active in currently. Yeah, just at TTV Homerun Chase. The letters TTV and then Homerun Chase, as you see.
Maybe one day he will return to the Twitch. with full
Maybe
beard.
when I move out, we'll probably be the first chance.
That's what we've got with Joe over there. I think Joe Booty Boy Booty is going to be, I think, streaming more once he moves out as well. But
If that ever happens.
if he ever moves out, that's always the question. People stay longer and longer. It's more the norm, I think, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
I do have
honestly,
to ask
we're
this
bad.
question, Truman. Are you
Yes.
open to text messages? Because you're really shitty at responding mid-game.
To text messages? Oh, for this game?
It seems like I message you anything about football in the middle of a game that I know you're watching, and I'll get a response 20 minutes later.
That's fair.
last
I
time
will
he was-
try to be better. You can have my number. I'll send you my number if you want it.
You can do whatever you want.
It'll be more successful if I send you my number. Yeah, you can send me a text. The issue during the last game, I was at the game, so literally,
Yes, I know that.
I posted
that one.
I posted a Snapchat this morning onto my story that sent to people because I tried to send it when I was at the game before the game that said "We out here." And I tried to send that at like 6:30 yesterday or 5:30 yesterday before the game started.
We all got like
And
5:30
instead,
today.
at like 7:30 this morning, when I opened my phone to use the bathroom before I went to work, it sent it to everybody, and I got like 5 smart ass responses that said, "You're still out there?"
Pretty sure I said, you're out there early for the champ game.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Are you going to this one? Are any of you going to this one?
Not unless it's free. I paid enough for the last one that I think it's.
I'm
Unless
seeing about
someone did
low
what-
of about 380.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be buying a ticket. If somebody randomly decides to give me a ticket, I'll go.
My dad also letting you know that if you're going to text me, that you'll have to give me about 3 days to respond, and that is 3 business days. So.
See, I always have my phone. It throws me off when people don't respond right away. I always have my phone next to me.
I normally have my phone, but like there's times where I just put it down, and
Dude, I've been-
sports. I'm in it.
I've been so bad about replying to my phone these last couple days because I've been fucking playing RuneScape, dude.
Fucking RuneScape, dude.
Legit, I've looked at my
Alright.
phone and I look at my phone and I have like all 7 of my group chats all have messages. I'm like, oh fuck.
All right, the Midwest.
How about
Goodbye
I have a question
is
for you
almost
real quick,
complete.
Truman, and I'll be out of here.
Yeah.
What
No,
do you
I mean,
think?
we're
What
trying to
is
get
your
out of
sack
hair.
total prediction against the Bengals?
Sack total?
Yes.
What do we have? 4 last game?
Yeah.
Was Willie Gay playing last game? Hold on, let me
little bit,
Let me look
yes.
at something real quick.
Let's Willie
Because you
Gaines
seem
get it
pretty hyped that you could get 10 on us.
No, that was mostly a joke because the Titans had 9 and then lost by 3. I was like, is it going to take 10 for us? Willie Gay
First team in
did
NFL
play.
history to have 9+ sacks and win.
Yeah, it's true.
Frank Clark had a sack. Jaron Reed had a sack. Chris Jones had 2. Man,
I would set the line at
God,
5.
Melvin Ingram didn't have one. I think the sack total for this game is probably at 4.5, and I think it'd be hard not to take the over.
After the Tennessee one, it would very inch you up.
I think Melvin Ingram not having a sack. I think against Josh Allen, if Josh Allen was as mobile as Joe Burrow, Melvin Ingram yesterday would have had 4 sacks. He flushed
The
Allen out of
Bills
the
have
pocket.
a great O-line. I don't know anything about the Bills.
The Bills have a pretty good offensive line.
The thing is that the reason that Josh Allen didn't take very many sacks is because his movement in the pocket's stupid.
Yeah, he's the second most mobile quarterback in the
get it.
NFL, probably.
Behind Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
You got Jackson. What about Russell? Where'd you put Russell?
Russ has lost a step or two.
But
over
Russ's
the years.
O-line this year was pretty dog.
And Russ's O-line is bad too. Yeah, but I'd put Russ. Russ is probably top 5. Kyler's up there.
Yeah.
That little tiny guy running around. Mahomes.
Jalen Hurts.
Mahomes is back to being his sneaky, elusive self. Had that 60-yard run for it was like the slowest run I've ever seen. That looked like
Don't
me
forget,
running.
don't
down a
forget
football
Danny
field.
Dimes still exists, even though he's shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the fastest player in the NFL,
Yeah,
Daniel
right,
Jones?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be out of your hair. Thank you again for having me, Truman.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Thanks.
the,
No, I
the last
appreciate it,
second
man.
text.
Yes. Yeah. I'll shoot you the number. You can send me text. I'll try to respond. Just for you, I'll focus on it.
Thanks, Chase.
No worries.
But yeah.
No worries.
Alrighty.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Chase. Yeah. See you. All right. That was Chase. We
We
appreciate
really
having
should
Chase
probably
on.
have him on more.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, now we got my shit to talk
Well,
about.
real quick, to respond to a couple chats. He said if the Chiefs lose, I'll respond. It'll take 3 days. If they win, I'll be texting you as they run off. the
Oh
field.
my gosh.
That's pretty funny. Also, my dad did mention that I slam dunked on anti-vaxxer on Twitter earlier.
Oh, did you see me?
Anti-vax gambler.
Did
on
you
Twitter.
see me alley-oop?
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, you were responding to the other guys. God, these dummies come out. What science? And then you post an article, and then you just called me a bot. I was like, "You're."
Yeah, that's when that's when you were standing under the hoop like this,
Yeah.
and I'm fucking.
What's really annoying is that I almost thought about not responding to that guy, but I was like, you know what? I can't look like I didn't respond to this guy because I didn't have it. So I post the article, and then they never read it, and they just post bot and move on, and that's really fun.
Yeah, that's what I slam dunked on.
Okay, we need to get through the rest of your points real quick.
Oh, I got a lot. We can kind of rapid fire.
You need to rapid fire because we need to get out of here. This
Okay.
episode's running long.
Okay, real
we do
quick.
appreciate Chase.
Real quick, I need to tell Bills fans to shut the fuck up. In 2018,
Hold
the
on.
Chiefs.
Chase, before Chase did say I watched the game with my family, have the Bengals subreddit game thread up on my phone, and text when I know others are watching. Damn.
Fair enough.
Damn.
I
I remember
respect that.
when I was watching it, like when I lived on my own and didn't like go to a bar, when I had my computer and my phone and 3 monitors, absolutely. But
Oh,
now
yeah.
that I only have my phone and I'm normally at a bar or with my
Yeah.
family or at the game, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at a
be
bar
that into
this
it.
upcoming weekend, so I don't know if my text will be flowing that much.
But definitely in college, I used to follow the Reddit threads like religiously.
yeah, no, I had my phone out on Twitter this whole game. Whole game.
Because Reddit has some of the funniest takes.
Oh, for sure. They have people being dumb. Okay, but I have to tell Bills fans to shut the fuck up and make your own bed. 2019 Chiefs tried to change the overtime rules, and only one team agreed with the Chiefs. Can you name the team?
The Bengals.
No,
It was not the Bengals.
Imagine.
is it someone weird like the Rams?
Kind of.
The Chargers?
Nope, it was the Cowboys. So only Cowboys fans, I will accept your sympathy about overtime losses. But you don't have those because your team sucks ass and loses in regulation.
Cowboys are the most
Go.
popular. I thought you were saying fans. I was like, Cowboys are the most popular team in America. But
Yeah, no.
Are they really?
Yes.
That's insane.
It's because in the 90s when football really started to take off and they got
had
a
their
national broadcast, the Cowboys were on their dynasty and paying a lot of money, so they were always on prime time. So a lot of people got the one game they would get would be the national broadcast of the Cowboys game. So a lot of people became Cowboys fans that way.
Okay. Did you watch Rams Bucks, right?
What?
You watched Rams Bucks, right?
Some of it. I was getting ready for the game,
Okay.
going to the game,
So
tailgating the game park.
Matt Gay, the kicker, was short from 47 yards.
Yeah.
How long do you think it takes them to cut him after the season? I think being short from 47 is almost an immediate cut. It's the NFL.
I think you look at guys like Ryan Suckup, who's still in the league. Ryan Suckup, if you remember, Ryan Suckup's good from like 52.
Matt Gay is not all-time great Ryan Suckup.
Ryan Suckup is not all-time great.
Ryan Suckup is like top 10 in points.
That doesn't. No,
He's
not.
close to Vinatieri in field goals made.
No,
he's got
not.
a lot of field goals made.
Ryan Suckup.
Ryan
is not. Look
Suckup's
it up.
Suckup's been in the league for like 12 years. Matt Gay has not.
All right, it's time to. Our favorite pastime here on Dahm That's True is Googling stats that Owen says.
First look up.
Top 10 kickers made field goals.
Yes.
Also, to be fair, I'm kind of going to side with Truman on this. Ryan Suckup's kind of dog, dude.
I think you're crazy. NFL total most made field goals. In bold are the active players.
Damn,
Let's see.
I'm hella
Top
wrong.
number one
he's
still
36.
remaining. Robbie Gould, Matt Bryant, Steven Gostkowski, who I think is almost out of the league, right? Mason Crosby, Matt Prater, Justin Tucker, Nick Folk, Ryan Suckup. Ryan Suckup is barely top 10 active most made field goals.
Hey, damn. But he's not
True
Matt
put
Gay.
his meat in Owens beyond yet. Thank you, yes.
But he's not Matt Gay. Anyway, it's unacceptable for a kicker to be short from 47.
Gay is a Pro Bowler. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Matt Gay is a Pro Bowler this year. But Pro Bowlers for kickers are not.
Anyway,
The only thing for kickers that matters is all pro, and
all
that's
you need
Justin
to know
Tucker
is that
till the end of time.
47, short from 47, is cringe in the NFL. That's shit. When we have,
It doesn't matter. Ryan Suckup has made a career out of that kind of shit.
I don't know. That's
What do you
cringe.
think Ryan Suckup's longest field goal he's ever made is?
55.
Let's see if he's got it. Hold on. Season 50 plus. Hold on. Oh, his longest one is 54.
That's not 47.
50. Matt, you want to see Matt Gay's longest field goal? You think it's less than 47?
I hope not.
Did
for
you
him.
see Harrison Butker's field goal?
He's
yesterday?
only been in the he's only been in the league for 2 years. Oh, my boy's getting cut. He's young. He's getting his ass cut.
He kicked a 58-yarder 2 years ago.
That's why it's cringe that he was short
He's
from
kicked a
47.
55-yarder from this.
That's
this
why
year.
it's so cringe that he was
Did
short
you see
from
Harrison
47.
Butker's field goal?
Which one?
The first one that he missed from 50? That was maybe good from 52?
It wasn't 47. Anyway, moving on. Can you believe that Tom Brady was finally called for a unsportsmanlike conduct? That was the first one of his career.
How many of Patrick Mahomes got called for? It's
None.
0.
Yeah, but
So,
I think the
quarterbacks-
I think the
quarterbacks
body language that Tom Brady used was when talking to refs is a little bit different than what Mahomes does.
Yeah, it's because he's been in the league for 20 years. You get that kind of leeway.
But can you believe it's his first one ever?
Yes.
God bless. Fuck Tom
And
Brady.
I think it's because it was Holchley and because Tom Brady came.
Hockey league.
Oh, whatever. I don't give a fuck about a referee's name.
Okay.
But
I don't
he was
respect
the
them.
son of somebody that Brady said he frequently yelled at
Yeah.
and cussed out.
Ed Hockey league.
And I think that the kid took it personally and took his liberty in calling that one. I think he saw red and threw that flag.
I mean, allegedly there's. I think anytime you see somebody in a ref's face, it's always like, I wonder what they've got to say.
Right.
And if I remember right, you can say anything except for when you start directing it at them. You can say, that's a dumb fucking call. That's a stupid call. I can't believe anyone would make that call. What a terrible call. You're a son of a bitch. Then you throw the flag.
Gotcha.
You're a bitch. You're stupid. You're blah, blah, blah. That's a flag.
Right.
That call is stupid. That call's a son of a bitch. That call's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
Right. It's like if you say like you made a bad call, bad. The call was bad. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I want to talk about that last.
Wait, real quick. I want to talk about Barstool Sports' obsession with Patrick.
I wanted to
Jackson.
talk about that last.
You want to talk about that last?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's his
All
pop culture minute.
Yes. Well,
That's
no,
a
not a pop culture minute. That's
Also, the fucking shot Joe threw at me was like a Barstool Sports shot. I was like, fuck.
Oh, the pink.
Here,
Whitney
can you
is-
pull up can you pull up Niners Packers real quick? We need to talk about how shit of a game that was.
I mean, we could just talk about it.
For
What blows my mind?
holy
about that
shit,
game?
look at the QBRs.
I know, but you know what blows my mind about that game is that the Packers scored on their first drive. They scored a touchdown in 5 minutes,
And then immediately never did that again.
and they never scored in 6 minutes. They scored a touchdown, and the other 54 minutes they scored 3 points.
Go for a play by play.
No,
No, I want to see the drives. How many
They're
punts were
bad.
there?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Holy shit, how many 3 and outs is in a row is
8,
that?
9,
Scroll up.
10. I know. That
What?
is 1, 3. Oh, sorry. 1, 3 and out. 2, 3 and out. 4, 3, 3 and out. 4, 5, 5, 3 and out.
Oh my
and then
lord.
and then a 6 and out, which is like not.
And then interception, end of half.
Interception. Yeah, the win 11 plays got you inside the red zone, and then you threw an interception. Terrible.
What's the second half look like? Field goal, punt, field goal, downs, blocked punt, touchdown, punt, field goal. Ugh. Oh my.
The game was 13-10. Did you think it was going to look good? You think anything about that game? was
No,
gonna
but
look
the
good?
funny part is that something that Packers fans especially and like their team media always talk about, it's tough to play in Lambeau when it's snowing and cold.
I know. Yep.
And then for them to lay an egg when it's snowing and cold.
Well, they're
it's
talking about themselves.
right. But then they lay an egg and dude, honestly, fitting for the Packers this year.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, huge eyesore for the NFL with all of his comments and his lying. And I think America wanted to see the Packers lose.
Yeah.
I know I did.
I mean, I have a lot of Packers friends, and I feel bad for them because generally they lose this coming weekend and not this weekend. They
Right.
generally lose in the championship game in some heartbreaking way. But they decided to lose on a heartbreaking way in the divisional round this year.
Okay.
Oh, God. Just
First time in 12 years there's no Brady or Rodgers in the championship round.
17 years.
I saw 12 earlier, but
Interesting.
I'll trust it.
Is it really 7?
It's been-
17 feels wrong. In 2007 or 2008, Tom Brady was not in it because he tore his ACL. And Aaron Rodgers, I don't think, was in the league yet.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's got to be. It's got a good pull. Good
So,
pull. Good
yeah.
pull.
So I think 13 does sound right.
I said 12. But yes.
12, yeah. That whatever
Yeah,
number
whatever
that
one
was
you said.
sounds right. Yeah.
Vincent, the known sports stats.
Of course, of course, of course.
Known sportsman.
I think that the Bengals and Titans both suck, and I think you can see it off their game. I love you, Chase. I think the Bengals might get blown out.
I think the Titans have a slightly better defense than the Chiefs do. If Finn and Matthew are out, if they're both in, it's going to be hard to beat the Chiefs.
I think the Bengals have a good chance of being blown out. They're not going to get 5 drive extending penalties this time. They don't call those in the playoffs. The Rams nearly choked, and I think that Tom Brady is still clutch. I can't believe it, but I legit, Truman, I saw the Buccaneers go down the field and score. I was like, holy shit, he did it again. Like,
Yeah.
Tom Brady, and he still has an arm. He launched that ball to...
Tom Brady?
Yes, he launched that second to last touchdown. he hucked that to
people
Mike Evans.
are questioning whether or not Tom Brady comes back. Tom Brady's coming back next year, and he's gonna do. I think it's finally time for him to do that thing that like Kobe did.
The drop
and,
off,
like,
just a random drop off.
No. Where they go, this is my final year, and then everybody goes, "Oh, finally!" and they all give him gifts every time he stops and plays anywhere.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Brady still got it. I think he's definitely coming back next year.
Next year, by the way, the Chiefs play the Bucks.
Yeah, at home. No, of course it's in Tampa Bay because
I'm not sure.
because Tom Brady. We're gonna
I'm
play
pretty sure
Tom
they've
Brady
got to
away.
play the Bucks. I think.
So obviously he's going to be away because it's Tom Brady. Rams nearly choked. Stat Padford. I think that Stat Padford is a very legitimate shot of choking, and the Niners going to the Super Bowl next week.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sean
this coming
McVay and Matt Stafford certainly could throw it because
That's the double choke.
They've been on a tear that they like, and then they almost threw this one away, and they certainly could go out there and lay an absolute.
Wait, dude, this is the double choke coaching combo.
We could see him.
This is Kyle Shanahan versus Sean McVay.
Kyle Shanahan only chokes in the Super Bowl.
You're right.
We could see a game that's a similar, like 20-13 next week.
Oh,
they
God.
score one more touchdown because it's inside.
Oh God, that is so disgusting. I'd like to talk about McCole Hardman and Clyde Edwards-Helaire real quick. I think we're finally seeing the Chiefs use them in the way that they should be used,
I've been beating the drum.
Yes,
for
Clyde
5
Clyde
years.
running outside the tackles unless it's a misdirection play.
Yes.
And then we fucking put him in at wide receiver.
Yeah.
And he got yards. Oh, we are so shocked.
And McCole Hardman.
Yeah, balls in the back, balls
becoming
in space.
becoming the Debo Samuel.
Yes, catches
role.
in space.
Jet sweeps, hands off out of the backfield sometimes.
Short slants.
Short slants, get him open into space. He makes plays happen because he's fast.
Because he's good. Because he's a good player when he plays to his skill set. He does not have a route tree like Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill does not have a route tree either.
Tyreek Hill's got.
Tyreek Hill does not run good routes.
Okay, well he doesn't. McCole doesn't even have routes. Like even Byron Pringle runs better routes than McCole Hardman.
Yes, but he's polished. Byron Pringle's a little more polished.
Right. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is that you can scheme McCole into getting open, but McCole isn't one of those super. I guess he's technically a gadget player, but he has
a gadget player.
Incredible playmaking ability.
Yeah, he's a gadget player, but he's not like a one-dimensional player.
Right. He's not one-dimensional. He's technically a gadget player.
Okay.
Anything else? Do you have can you pull up the tweets I sent to you?
Oh, you sent me.
Can we just talk about what Joe Burrow unfortunately gave Arrowhead bulletin board information? Although this tweet was scroll up. Yeah, that one. The
Oh yeah.
So
That's very funny.
this tweet is from 3 months ago, is when he said this, but this is the first time I'm hearing of this, and this is the first time Chiefs Kingdom is hearing of this. But Joe Burrow said it gets way louder in the SEC than any of these NFL stadiums. And
Yes.
could you open the replies to that tweet real quick and scroll down?
I'm on the replies.
There should be a picture about halfway down. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Jeez, they just add no, not this one. They add
that is something. The thing about it is that college crowd capacities are about 30,000.
right. But keep scrolling. There's a.
And
I should have saved that picture.
College fan bases are, and I say this as a Chiefs fan, in the South. Those cousin fuckers are so proud of their damn local college football team.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy.
That they do go crazier than NFL.
Okay, here it's coming. It's
Because it's a personal thing about.
There you go. That one. Click it.
Yes. Obviously.
So Chiefs have the record at 142.2, and you just told Chiefs fans that they're not loud. Unfortunately, it was 3 months ago, but Chiefs fans just.
If you went and back, although here's the thing, is that these aren't averages; these are record sets. If you went back and looked at the Chiefs' average decibels versus college average decibels, it might get close.
Listen, I'm not saying it might not get close, but the
You are
Saying
you
this
are
weekend's
saying
about to be loud as fuck.
no. That is what I'm saying. But also, you just told. Well, you didn't really just tell, but they just found out. The fan base that holds the record for the loudest sound ever recorded in a stadium on this planet just found out that you said you don't think NFL stadiums are that loud.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's not.
I think that it's gonna be so fucking loud next week. See, exactly what you're tweeting right now.
There you
Exactly.
Here, just so everybody can see it.
See, exactly. We're gonna be fired up. It's gonna be great. That's all of my points except for the last one. I wanted to spend a little bit of time.
This tweet going hard. Damn, this doing numbers. 4 retweets, 14 likes. Damn, dude, this shit going hard.
I wanted
Shit going hard.
to talk about the Brittany Mahomes thing.
God damn, it does keep on going. Man, it just keeps. Yes, I can even bring up. I'm sure you could bring up Brittany. Well, it's also again, it's not Brittany Mahomes. Jesus Christ, they're not married yet. I don't know why we all have to keep talking about this, but yes, they're not married yet.
Yes. Okay, I will tell you that I have not seen any tweets about, oh my gosh, I can't believe she sprayed champagne on me. I will tell you right now.
Oh, people complaining about. You haven't seen anybody complaining about it. You've seen people outraged that she sported on people, but you have not seen the people that are drenched in champagne complaining about it.
Yeah. First of all, people say, oh, it's freezing cold in January. It was not freezing cold. It was 47 degrees.
It was not 47
Also,
degrees. As somebody, you remember that Denver game that we went to?
Yes.
It was about the same.
Yeah.
I brought my coat, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to need this. And then and then about the third or fourth quarter, I was like, oh, I'm going to put this fucking coat
I'll tell you right now that if I'm on those seats and I look up and I see, my quarterback's fiance, and she goes, I would get hyped.
I would go insane. I would go, as somebody who was at that game, I would lose my fucking mind in a good way. Yeah, I would go ape shit. I would go bonkers. I would, I'd be slurping down.
I will tell you right now that also when you're, it's cold enough to be wearing a hat and a coat. I'll tell you right now, when you're at an NFL game, shit spills.
Yeah.
All the time. And you're wearing enough layers that even if someone accidentally dumped basically the whole bottle, I'm not sure it would penetrate all your layers.
Also, I want to give you a quick. Here's the thing about Jackson Mahomes that I want to talk about.
Sure.
Is that I think the main people who are always beating this drum, and we've talked about these people before, plenty. The people that are always beating the drum about Brittany Mahomes and Brittany Matthews and Jackson Mahomes are Barstool Sports. Barstool Sports, famously Dave Portnoy, all those Boston dudes. Here's the thing, is that I think without Barstool Sports, I don't think Jackson Mahomes is famous.
Maybe not.
I think Barstool Sports, has a toxic fan base, and I think they first reached out and started clowning on Jackson Mahomes, and that is some of the most toxic people you ever see comment just vile shit under Barstool post.
Yes.
And they say all this stuff. Yeah, I know you're a anti-Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah,
which is fine.
I think literally never seen anything from Barstool Sports. Had him in class. Someone was like, "Oh, have you seen his TikToks?" I was like, "Wow, this is some of the worst content."
But that's why people have ever seen the TikToks. He was a TikTok star, sort of, but he wasn't like a TikTok star on Twitter, which is a different level of TikTok star. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was a TikTok star on Twitter because of Barstool, and that's where the real toxicity exists, is on Barstool. And I will
say I did have the class, and all of this brought up before the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Right.
So,
but it was still during that season.
Right. Mahomes was still a huge fucking thing. Everyone was still like, "Oh my God, Jackson Mahomes."
But I think part of it, and I feel like there's sometimes a little bit of this with Barstool, is a tad bit of what we like to call a little, I'm going to say it, be a little controversial, a little bit of homophobia. Just a bit.
Oh my god!
I think
so. It's a controversial opinion from Truman.
I think it's them roasting. I think they want to prod harder because they want to call him a girly man because he's a brother of a famous Chiefs superstar football player, the manly man, and then he's got his brother who they look at him and they go, that guy's so girly, does his girly TikTok dances, and they want to make fun of him for doing the TikTok dances, and they want to make him the villain, and the Sean Taylor stuff, of course, was
the thing is, it ended up being distasteful, but that was the roped off area.
Yeah,
that was the closest spot to the field that he could get.
That was just the Sean Taylor game. It wasn't in the moment of silence. It wasn't during the presentation. It was him doing a dance at the game where they were also doing the Sean Taylor stuff later on. Was everybody on the sideline just supposed to stand there silently the whole time? No.
Well, no, and the thing is that was the media roped off area. That was the roped off area for VIPs.
Well, that's the favorite part is they start to show they're like
the ropes.
They're like fucking the Mahomes couple they have a roped off area just for them. It's like
that is the VIP section.
That's how that works, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so
weirdos like you don't try to talk to them.
Yeah,
because you're fucking weirdos.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, and then it goes on the football team. Why the fuck did they have any area if they actually cared about the seal? They could have just put the ropes around the Sean Taylor Memorial thing.
Right.
But they didn't. They were just like, oh, it's fine. It's just fucking grass. And people are like, come on,
Yeah,
idiots.
It's
Idiots.
always so dumb.
Have your team wrap off memorials better.
Is that it?
moron.
Is that the last thing you had?
That is all of my talking points.
Also, holy shit, what a game. That was the best game I've ever been to
Oh
in
my
my
gosh,
life. That's
yes.
the best game anybody will ever be to in their life. I
Oh,
can't
yeah,
imagine there
how
being
far
a
up
better
were your
Chiefs game.
seats?
Row 11? 321?
You
321.
were first row?
321.
Oh,
Row
321.
11
Okay.
up top.
I was like, holy
They were
fuck.
pretty solid seats, though. I don't know if I got
Well, that's
my
why
tweet.
that's why I told you when we were in Denver. I legitimately at professional sports events, any seat, I don't think there's a single bad seat anywhere.
Let's see. Is there a... no, here, let me go to Evan's Twitter real quick. Evan,
Show your Snapchat story.
you guys follow me? No, well, because Evan's got it right here. So this is where our seats were. If
Yeah, so like
definitely
11,
go follow Evan. Wake up, babe. New Evan tweet.
11 rows up from that top row.
Yeah. This is pretty solid. Just a great view of it.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the Chiefs Stadium is I think even if you're like up here, hold on, let me pull this down so you can see.
Well, we were up there for
Oh,
the
fuck,
Bill
you still
for the
can't
Colts
see.
game, Truman.
Yeah, but no, if you were up at the last row, I think you would still feel close.
Well, I mean, we were
I've
pretty.
sat like up here before, up in that corner, and
Yeah.
it's still been pretty good.
I mean, we were up there for Mile High too, and it felt fine seats. We could see everything.
That felt high. That was really high.
That
I
did
will
feel
say.
high.
That felt higher than any seat in the Chiefs Stadium.
But you can still see.
Yeah, you can see, but it felt higher up than that one. But okay, I think we need to.
That was a fucking incredible game. Oh my gosh. Do you have a prediction for Bills Chiefs?
Bills Chiefs,
I mean for Bengals Chiefs. Sorry.
Bengals Chiefs.
Because I have a prediction for Bills Chiefs.
Me too.
Big W.
I think somebody. By the way, I think somebody pointed out that I don't think Jamar Chase. I think Evan pointed it out to me. Jamar Chase did not have an offensive pass interference in that game.
Yeah.
And so I think you said if that happened that they would win by 3, and they did win by 3. The Bengals would win by 3 if
they did-
Jamar Chase didn't have an offensive pass interference.
Yep.
And I think that's what happened, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because
Vincent, you guessed the what score did you guess right on the nose? Bengals plus 3.
Yeah, I had Bengals plus 3 on the nose.
Oh,
And
you had
then I
Bengals
was-
minus 3.
I don't know. What
You
that
said
fucking
the
means for sure.
Bengals were going to win by 3.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I was talking all this shit. I was like, man, can't wait to go fucking perfect 4-0. And then immediately got the next 3 wrong.
Yeah. I was the
So
only
that
one.
was fun.
I was the only one that picked the 49ers, I think somebody said.
You were the only ones to pick.
I thought there was
49ers.
no way the 49ers were going to win that game.
But I think we did this, and I've said this plenty of times. I said this to everybody after the game, is that I always say that, well, the Packers aren't going to the Super Bowl, but we never figure out, but the Packers always seem better than everybody they were going to play against. But they've got to lose to somebody because they're not going to the Super Bowl for whatever
I
reason.
just feel so bad for Packers fans, bro.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Their whole organization has failed them
Yep.
from every part.
They've had 20 years in a row of having a Hall of Fame quarterback, and they only have 1 title to show for it.
Pretty incredible.
That's brutal. I think that's it.
You just feel bad for them.
Predictions for.
Oh, yeah, give me
Oh,
your
predictions.
for Bengals Chiefs.
And then also, we should do predictions for 49ers.
Here's what I'm going to say. 38-28 Chiefs. I think the Bengals score late to make it closer. I think it has AFC Championship last year vibes. I think you see, what was that score?
The 33-20,
Was it?
something like that. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right on it, actually. But I think it's going to be something very similar to what we saw last year. I say a
I
similar
think it is
score.
33-20.
It's 38-24.
I
was
off by
pretty
4
close.
points in either way.
I was pretty close to it. I got the Chiefs score right. Yeah, I could see 38-24, and that's, closer than it looked. I think the Bills scored last, right? Yeah, the Bills scored. They kicked a field
Yeah, it
goal
was
and a
like
touchdown.
over from like.
Yeah, 38-15 in the fourth quarter. I could see that happening. I could see, you could have a disastrous second quarter, and it's over, I mean, this game was 21-12 at halftime, and it certainly felt like an insurmountable lead. So, yeah, give me Chiefs 38-28. Bengals score late to pull it. They were down 17. They scored in the last 3 minutes to pull it within 10.
I like a bigger boom. I don't think Jamar Chase has 2 80-yard touchdowns. I don't think the Bengals have 5 drive-extending penalties, and I certainly don't think they that we only have 4 sacks.
That's right.
And I really don't think Mahomes gets intercepted.
Okay.
Not in the playoffs.
I don't think he's thrown an interception this. Oh, sorry. No, wait. He definitely threw one against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But yeah,
But,
so
what, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's pretty good.
I'm like 35 like 18.
Yeah, 35-18, 35-17, probably a better.
Like, I love my Bengals friends, and I'm not saying they don't have a chance, but the Chiefs are I'll steal a quote from Nick right here. The Steelers game was better than a bye.
Yeah, because it fixed the offense.
They put us all high clicking, high gear. Mahomes didn't throw. You know what Mahomes did try to do against the Bengals? Force long throws. You know how many throws over 20 yards he made against the Bills the other night? None.
Yeah.
Mahomes will dink and dunk the shit out of you. You cannot stop Travis Kelce. You cannot stop Tyreek Hill. You cannot contain Jerick McKinnon and CEH for the whole game. And Byron Pringle is going to be there for at least one touchdown and a couple drive extending.
What was that
downs.
Bengals game at halftime? It was 28-7, 28-14?
2014 Chiefs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
In the Bengals game? Because we only scored 3 points in the second half.
Oh, yeah. We had a big lead.
Famously, yes. Where is that Bengals game? Yeah. 28-17 at half. And I think it's 28-17 at half, and I think it continues. Something similar.
Dude, I like the Chiefs in this game. I do. I even like the -7, honestly. Well, I said that about the Bills. But here's what I'll say, Truman. I would have been right on Chiefs 10-point winners over the Bills if Butker makes that field goal and extra point, because I think Josh Allen tries to force it. They go quicker down the field, and Josh Allen doesn't have an opportunity to run as much, and I think the Chiefs win by 10.
I think if the Chiefs stop giving up 3rd and 10+ or 4th and 10+ conversions, I think we'll be great. I think we'd be the best team in the NFL by far.
We got really unlucky on that one because Jaron Reed had to try to jump over the tackle, and he's not.
God, he was
enough.
close though. Man.
He's not athletic enough to do that and catch Josh Allen.
God damn.
Maybe he catches Joe Burrow on that.
All that shit was so dumb.
Oh, but hey, do we have a timeline for when this merch is going to be up? Can you buy this?
Yeah, merch has been up.
Oh, yo, hey, if you like the way this hoodie looks, with holy shit. Well, not this one specifically, but you can buy this on the back.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
If you like the Dahm That's True hoodie that I'm wearing, you can get one. It's super fucking comfy.
That is pretty comfy.
It's here, feel the inside.
For being as cheap as it is, it is pretty comfortable.
Dude, it's great fabric. It's super comfortable, and they're available for the low price of I don't know whatever the fuck the price is on there. Just
let me find the merch. Hold on. All merch. There you go. ! All merch.
Yeah. So please check it out. Support your local food banks.
It's not working. Oh fuck.
Hold up. 2 things. One, we need predictions for 49ers Rams.
Oh
yes.
wait. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Did you start just shilling all of a sudden?
I did.
Okay.
Support your local food banks though. 49ers Rams.
I have the best bomb to drop on you guys.
You still need to do Chiefs Bengals predictions.
Yes. So as we saw earlier in the show, newfound Bengals fan. Happy to be a part of you guys both this week and in the next season. However, I don't think there's a universe where the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
And that is the juju I'm bringing on to you guys.
You son of a bitch.
Unironically, I like the Bengals. I don't see how the fucking Chiefs lose to anyone currently left in the playoffs.
I like to think that, but we felt that way about the Packers, and then they lost, But I, very quietly, as all Chiefs fans, we try to do, we are assholes on every social media platform, but very quietly amongst ourselves, we always say, I think they are going to win the Super Bowl, try to be kind of quiet about it.
If this week goes
We're
different,
about jinxing it still.
If this week had gone different, and we have Titans, Packers, Tampa Bay all still in, I don't feel that way. With how this week went, I don't think anyone.
Yeah, all of the 1 seeds.
Yeah.
And I think it's very possible the 49ers win.
Dude,
it's Chiefs 49ers again against a terrible 49ers team.
Dude, the Chiefs could take this 49ers team out back.
Yeah. I think it could be like that Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl.
Like the 42-13.
Yeah, that shit was insane.
So
the literal.
First, so your official prediction is what? Chiefs.
I don't give a fuck about points.
Fair enough.
I also hate to tell you, Vincent, if you really are trying to jinx the Chiefs, you did guess one correctly, so you ruined your jinxing ours.
Well, no, I'm not trying to jinx. That's just legitimately what I feel.
Well, jinxes aren't real anyway, so.
True.
All right. San Francisco versus LA.
Dude, I think...
LA is -3 favorites.
They're going to choke. I'm saying it now. Stat Padford chokes. Robbie Gold, who is an excellent kicker, makes the last-second field goal off of some bullshit. George Kittle catches 2 catches for 14 yards, but has a good blocking play. I think San Francisco goes to the Super Bowl game.
I have a very odd take about this. We just joked about the San Francisco 49ers being a bad team.
Yeah.
But legitimately, they have a bad quarterback. Their team is great. They've got all of a sudden, they've got a pretty solid base. Their defense, I think, has some question marks. Fred Warner, always good. But Fred Warner, I think, looked a little hurt at times. And then, I think, Trent Williams being a strong left tackle. You got Deebo Samuel. You've got Deebo Samuel's awoken their run game. You've got George Kittle. You've got Jimmy G when he's on at the same time. They've got a solid team. They feel like what?
The Broncos.
No, they don't feel like the Broncos. Man, I'm trying to think of a team. They feel like Las Vegas, kind of, is what they feel like.
I was going to say
And
that.
I'm not saying Las Vegas is that much worse than the Rams are. Here's the thing: is the Rams are kind of have turned almost into like a Cinderella chariot waiting to turn back into a pumpkin. Is that OBJ has gone insane in these playoffs, and he's caught 7 touchdowns or whatever since going to the Rams, but 6 or 7 or something insane.
67.
But that's that's not gonna stick. He's not gonna do that forever. OBJ, he isn't as bad as everybody thought he was when he was on the Browns, but he's not good. He's not great. He's not better than Byron Pringle.
Is he better than Antonio Brown?
Yeah. No. Antonio Brown still had some gas left in him, honestly.
You think he goes to the Ravens?
I think he'll try, but I don't know if he'll go to any NFL team, man.
That's also right.
Who knows, dude? I don't know. But I think this is going to be a dogfight. I think neither of these offenses, both these offenses have the opportunity to both lay a fucking egg and go 17-14 or 20-17. I take the under, and I'm going to go with my gut here. I'm going to go 49ers money line. I think the 49ers are going to win.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, similarly, I hate not having a wild opinion for once.
Yeah.
But I think on paper the Rams are the better team. But I don't know. They're not playing their best, and San Francisco is just like really hungry right now. It seems, and so I very easily see San Francisco walking with this.
Me and my dad text his friend about. We always make jokes about momentum. Momentum is always the thing that we joke around because his friend hates it. He hates the term about teams having momentum because technically you have momentum until you don't, until the other team gets it and then they have momentum, but there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
But if momentum was real, 49ers have a shit ton of it. And LA would have, but then they blew it.
Yeah.
And now they barely snuck in, which I don't know, but maybe that's one of those things, or maybe they go and win it just because they had that weird sneak in.
I just think the Chiefs have the most obvious momentum.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, Truman,
but they
that
could
Mahomes
have a hangover.
Mahomes put up over 400 yards on the best defense in football. The defenses in the rest of this playoffs only get worse statistically from here on out.
That's true.
And that's why.
And I'd like to see Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey taking on Aaron Donald. I think that'd be a very interesting matchup.
Well, yeah, because he's the interior lineman, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiley's on the interior, too.
Andrew Wiley's playing right tackle.
Oh, he's playing tackle? Who's the right guard? Oh, Joe Tooney.
Yeah.
Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Joe Tooney.
He's playing left guard, but yeah. Yep. But I think that's it. We need top 5 real quick. We need to get real quick out of here. This is so long. But it is AFC Championship preview. Owen.
Yep.
Top 5 Mahomes moments.
Top 5 Mahomes moments. Number 5.
Mahomes, if you will.
Mahomes.
Yeah, the Mahomes. Number 5, throw across his body to Tyreek Hill in that game against the Ravens. Throw across his body! The one where Tyreek Hill looked like he broke his leg on the catch?
Yes.
That one.
Well, he had already broken his, he was playing hurt that game. Remember, he had a heel injury, but because Tyreek Hill runs so fast, he only runs on his toes. Shout out Vincent. So
Tyreek Hill is the same person in every way.
Yes.
Oh my
Please
God.
don't look into my civil suits.
Oh, no.
Number 4, the game against the Rams.
Yep.
Just the whole game.
Man, I hope we don't have the same words.
Number 3, the run against the Titans.
Okay.
You know the run where he head faked the dude. Everyone's like, "What was he doing?" He got faked out of his socks. That's what he was doing.
Yep.
And by the way, he does that on every run out of the pocket. He does that little head turn fake, and it still works. So that was number 3. Number 2 moment. Jet ship wasp.
Yep.
And number 1 moments, obviously.
13 seconds now. Right?
13 seconds.
I think the Mahomes was on the radio and he said that Wasp is still his favorite like quote compared to like the Grim Reaper, but he says this one, if they win the Super Bowl, it'll be up there. But because
when
he gave
time
a very
gets grim, be the Grim Reaper. That's the rawest line of all time delivered by any coach.
yeah, it's so funny that it came from like the least raw coach.
Yeah.
Like if Mike Tomlin said that shit, you'd be like, ooh, I got fucking chills right now. If Mike Tomlin said that, but it was fucking Andy Reid. I was like,
Yeah.
I can say this because I'm a white fat guy, but he was like, when the times get grim, be the Grim Reaper.
Dude, he really does breathe super heavy in his.
He's a big guy.
Here, real quick, I gotta adjust. Okay, so Picaro said I can't blame Josh too much. Tails never fails. Let me tell you about this. Literally, the second that Josh Allen called Tails, my dad goes, "Who the fuck calls Tails? Tails is a bitch call." Like legit,
funny.
not as a joke.
That's an all-time Chuck quote right there.
All time, my dad quote out loud, serious.
Top 5 Chuck moment.
Not joking.
Yeah.
And then when we won when we won
Next week's top 5.
after the Travis Kelce touchdown, my dad turns to my whole family and goes, "Let this be a lesson to you. This was all because of Tails."
But Tails never fails.
Tails is a bitch call.
To be fair, they picked heads on the opening kickoff, and it was Tails.
Tails is a bitch call. Always pick heads. Right. You should feel good about choosing heads and losing because Tails. Oh, but the analytics, the head is technically more metal. So if you flip a coin 100,000 times, it's like 51.5% Tails.
No, that's like gambling. Like that kind of shit would come out to there would be 501 heads, 502, 499 tails.
Exactly.
Technically.
And that's why Tails is a bitch call.
Yes.
Anyway, going with that, regardless if you're going to go heads or tails, you have to stick with your one, otherwise you're not going to get 50-50.
Yeah, technically game theory is that you always pick the same thing every single
by
time.
the way, did you know this? I saw this on Twitter. Josh Allen coming into this game because he picked 6-0,
5-0 or something.
He was 11-0.
I thought he was 9-0 or something.
Okay, it was either 11. I know there was a 1 and then another digit. It was either 10 or 11.
But there's something to be said about regression to the mean.
Yeah, exactly. And he missed both coin toss calls.
0 for 2. Yep. That's crazy. Okay, all right, ready for top 5 Mahomes moments?
Yes.
Number 5, I had the no look, but that was also in the 4th and 20 game or 4th and whatever it was.
The first no look?
Yeah, the first no look pass. And that's
the Tony Romo no look?
Yeah, I mean, that's the same game, so I kind of lump them together. And I think I also agree that probably that 4th and long play is probably a more iconic play. Or it was a bigger deal play-wise. But looking back on it, I think that will fade more, but the no look will stay.
Okay.
But I think it was definitely in the season, in the moment, in the game, the 4th and long was way more important.
All right.
Number 4, I also had that Rams game. I was actually wondering if you would have that Rams game.
Oh, okay. It's one of the 3 greatest football games of all time.
Yeah. Top 5, and Mahomes has played in 2 of them. It's crazy. Number 3.
3 of them if you include 2018 AFC Championship.
I don't.
You don't?
We've talked about
comeback. They go down and score. We score with 120 left, send it to overtime, and then Brady does a game-winning drive in overtime.
No, I think that's a very normal game. I don't think it was that crazy. It wasn't as crazy as the Bills-Chiefs game because of how hyped up the Bills-Chiefs game was.
Okay, sure.
And everybody, it was just. I don't think there was anything like it. Number 3, that's where I put Wasp.
Okay. You have 2 plays better than Wasp.
Yeah, but you've already named them also. Our top 3s are the same plays, but they're different order.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I had number 3 of Wasp. A great play, but is it as hype as my number 2, which is the Titans run?
No, it's not.
God damn, that play was so exciting. And that was like
greatest playoff run by a quarterback ever.
And that was like when you knew they were going to the Super Bowl too. Yeah. Technically, it was really that Sammy Watkins catch later on, but honestly, it was that spin, truck, everything about it. The re-clutch on the ball.
Well, the thing is, like in real time, it's not as egregious. But there's that one picture of both Mahomes' hands like this, and the ball is not in his control. But like in real time, it was like he never really hit that. It's basically
but
that
play was
like,
just. I mean, I think I remember like
yeah, right. Yeah.
Like me and my roommate were at the bar watching this, and we were both like It's just one of those plays where you just go, oh my god. And number 1, Mahomes 13 seconds. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
What's crazy is that really the plays weren't that exciting. He threw an
underneath.
They played too conservative, and he played underneath to Tyreek, and he ran it up. Got 20 yards that way. and then he threw a very normal, soft part of the zone pass to Travis Kelce.
But the thing
just
is
the
that
absurdity of going 40 of having 13 seconds after the team just scored a touchdown and rip your heart out, and that you just go down there anyways and say "fuck you" and then tie it. I mean, I think that's.
And the thing is, the reason why the 13 seconds will live on forever is the last play was improvised. Is that the Bills called that timeout and Travis said, "Hey, they're giving the middle. We should go to the middle," and that was an audible off of the called route.
Yeah.
And then, you could audibly hear him go, "Do it, Trav, do it!" Like right as he's about to snap. That's incredible. That's incredible.
It's incredible.
Absolute Grim Reaper moment. I will be purchasing a Mahomes Grim Reaper shirt.
So yeah, we both had 5 was the no look versus over the 4th and 20 game. Number 4 was both the Rams games for us. 3, I had Wasp, you had Titans run. 2, you had Wasp, I had Titans run.
Yes.
Number 1, we both had Mahomes 13 seconds. I think
incredible.
that's the best moment of.
Probably prisoner of the moment, but
Yeah. No, I think that's the most iconic. I don't think anything will compare to that game.
what
That
about
game is
Mahomes' left hand throw?
No.
It's pretty incredible.
What's crazy is but it's crazy to think that Mahomes' left-handed throw
Isn't top 5.
isn't even top 5 anymore. That's. I mean, hell, he even had that quick shovel pass thing yesterday. That was insane that he did that. And he also had that crazy sidearm throw around the guy, and
that was nuts.
And all that shit's just.
Dude, I can't believe Twitter people were saying that's a normal throw. I'm like, you're a moron.
That's no.
Dude, but the crazy part is that the shovel pass underneath finally failed, but because Mahomes tossed it too high.
Yeah.
If he would have tossed it to CEH,
he was used to throwing it to a normal-sized human being, and then he threw it to the 5'6" guy at the 6'2" guy's height, and he fucking hit it off his helmet.
Right.
Holy shit! Could you imagine if
that
would
would have
have
picked it?
Oh my god!
But yeah,
but that's the shit that happened earlier in the year against the Bills, against these teams where they were losing these games and having 4 turnovers. They kept on doing that shit.
Something about pizza socks.
I wonder if Truman is wearing his pizza socks. I am not. I'm wearing Avengers socks. Actually,
I'm wearing mismatched socks that I pulled out of my
and
hamper
showing
today.
the toes for free on stream. Oh my god! This is an AFC Championship game preview treat.
But yeah, we gotta get out of here because we gotta go to bed. Truman's gotta close the podcast. I've been Owen Domination 7 Dahm DAHMINATION7. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter. I'm gonna be streaming more regularly. I'm mainly a RuneScape gamer right now, but I always play party games on Fridays with my boys. Rocket League.
Every single Friday, he's never missed one.
I try to.
God, a couple Fridays ago, if you tuned into if you tuned into the Rocket League stream with me and Owen, oh my god, what a meltdown! My god,
I got way too drunk and I got really mad because Truman was beating me, and that doesn't happen. So
I think Bills fans are very miserable today. Can we compliment the Bills once? Josh Allen is officially Patrick Mahomes is Peyton Manning to his Tom Brady.
yes, officially.
That is the new official. That's the compliment. I think it stings, but I think you have at least the number 2 quarterback in the AFC.
Josh Allen played an almost perfect game and lost.
Yeah. I think Josh Allen is going to be scary. They're going to win a Super Bowl under Josh Allen, I'll say it now.
Probably, yeah.
And it sucks that it isn't this year because I thought it was probably going to be this year. Vincent, quick shout-outs real quick.
Twitch.tv/NoticeZ, Twitter, all that jazz. Come hang out. Have my own podcast on Thursday with a couple of British boys. And then we do collab shit on Friday. What am I doing this Friday? I lied. I'm not streaming this Friday. It's my friend's birthday.
All right. Joe, what do you have?
I was going to say about the fans putting in the work for the game, getting that false start.
Which one?
We didn't. They never false started.
There was definitely a false start on them.
I don't think they ever false started. They false started once.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was hype.
So Joe's shouting out the fans. Fair enough.
Shout out the fans.
Shout out to fans.
Shout out the fans.
They're gonna put in a hella
I'll
work.
be gone.
They're gonna put in extra work because of the
Efficient as fuck, boy.
Fair enough. Twitch.tv/SteamMachine, SteeHNMachine. If you missed any of these streams, you can catch them on Spotify, Grub Buds. Dom, that's true. You can catch them all on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you find your podcast. And if you want to watch them live, we do start Monday, 7:15. We appreciate everybody being here. We'll see you guys next week for hopefully a Super Bowl preview or an AFC Championship game recap. We might break down our hot takes from early before the season. I don't know. It'd be kind of fun, I think, to revisit some of the hot takes and how we graded them, how we roasted them. But we'll see. Win or lose, we'll be here next week. Sadly. I mean, not sadly. I don't know. Whatever. See you guys. Love you guys. Bye.
Nailed the intro.